morning, this is Lainey with Camp Joy Farms. Back out here, it's Tuesday, February 8th. I think today my goal and my only goal, I'm just gonna set one goal, and that's to get my carrots planted. I'm fixing to kind of smooth out my row a little bit with my rake, just because some bumps have come up, in the rain. And then I'm going to take my 3 cubic feet of potting soil and just try to see if that'll make a light dusting down the whole row, just to give my carrots a little something moist to germinate in. And right now, that's all I'm gonna set the goal for. I'm gonna try to get that done and then I'll come back in a little while and I'll reassess and see if I can move forward with some other things. Well, I'm making an executive decision. I was pulling that potting soil out of my bag and it's very moist. It's some Miracle Grow moisture controlled potting soil. Love it. I'm very happy with it. There's no problem. But it felt kind of thick and it had, lots of little chunky things of wood. I am going to walk out to my beach and I'm going to use my little bucket here, my little orange bucket. And I'm going to get a load of sand. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some sand in with that potting soil in each little batch that I put out and just kind of thin it out a little bit. It's not going to spread very well the way it is now. It's kind of thick and moist. And so I think if I thin it out with a little sand, I think the carrots would like that. I think they would be okay with that. So I'm just kind of punting. You kind of have to make decisions as you go, and didn't know till I opened the bag how thick it was. So I think I'm just going to punt. I'm going to go over here and get some sand and take care of that and kind of hope and pray. I have to use my own judgment with things. I know what I read. I've watched videos, best way to grow carrots, with other people, and they have great luck with carrots, and some of them are market gardeners and they do wonderful things with carrots. I just have a different situation kind of where I live. I've said before that I live on an old gravel pit. And I hear all the time, carrots don't like rocks. Pick all the rocks out of your soil before you put carrots in there. Well, it's hard for me to do. They're going to have to toughen up. I'm trying to pick varieties that say they grow pretty good in clay soil, and varieties that are a little bit more maybe stumpy on the ends, little kind of stubbed ends, I guess you would say, rather than the long skinny carrots that kind of want to go 14 inches down into the soil. Mine are going to be more 7 to 8 inch carrots with a little bit of a stumpy end on them. I cannot sit there all day long and pick out every little rock in my soil, so it is what it is. We'll see what kind of harvest I get out of them. And I'm going to thin out with a little bit of sand. I do believe the carrots will like a little bit of sand in that germination medium, so I'm not really worried about that. You want to walk with me out here and we'll get some sand? I think this little area has some of the finest sand in here. A lot of it has little rocks all in it, but this is pretty good. I'm going to grab it from right here and we're going to go back to the garden. Richard saw me struggling with the 5-gallon bucket of sand, so he came to pick me up. It's one good time. I'm glad he circled back. I came over here on the other side of the beach to get my little stool to sit on while I plant the carrots. Anything that I can help keep my knees and everything from getting real sore, I'll do. So I love this little thing. 0 to 10 feet. I'm not planting right now. That's going to be a second succession of Kuroda carrots later. I'm doing 10 to 20 feet with the Kuroda carrots, and then I'm going to do 20 to 30 feet. My markers, not 30 feet long, but from 10 foot to 20 foot is Kuroda carrots. From 20 foot to 30 foot is going to be Envy carrots, the first succession. After that, I'm doing 0 to 10 with Kuroda. I'm going to do probably 30 to 40 foot with Envy and do some different succession things for different reasons. I've kind of tried to think it all out, but who knows. If you hear something in the background of this video, I live near an active gravel pit, so you'll hear their trucks beeping and things like that. They're active during the week, and this is a Tuesday, so they're working today. I kind of get to where it doesn't bother me. I don't really hear it. To me, when I'm out here, it's kind of peaceful. And I guess guess it's kind of like living near a railroad track. When I was little, we lived near a railroad track, and after a while, you just don't hear the trains anymore, or if you do hear them, you kind of get excited. And we literally lived on the street that dead-ended at the railroad tracks, and so we would like, when we were little, to run down there and see the trains and kind of throw rocks at some of the cars and things like that. So after a while, it just doesn't bother you, the noise, and it really doesn't bother me living by this gravel pit. It's pretty far away, actually. It's just that on a clear day like this, the sound carries a whole lot. I'm just gonna put a seed or so in each hole. You really only need one seed, but it's very, very hard to do just one carrot seed unless they're pelleted seeds, and these aren't pelleted. This time of year, I mean, we're planting seeds right now. You know, I'm planting these seeds right now, but it is a slow time of year for gardening. And if you're trying to do content for something like YouTube, this is a hard time of year to start a channel. If you're starting a channel about gardening, you really, you know, people want to see gardens. And if there's nothing to show, then it's hard. But and I realized that starting this channel, that I was definitely, there's a spider, I was definitely starting it at a very trying time of year to have really beautiful and interesting content. But I'm gonna have faith that it's all gonna work out. I enjoy this. I enjoy just kind of documenting it and getting to share it. I have a small channel right now. It's my circle back boy. You need me? Well, crisis averted. He wanted his jacket on. It's the same jacket that we took off 10 minutes ago because he was hot. He decided that hot was overrated, so he wanted his jacket back on. He'll be back in a minute because it's getting warmer and he'll get hot again, and so the cycle continues. Now, this isn't a how to plant carrots video. I just do it my way. I make little dibble holes with the end of my rake, and I put the seeds in those holes and then kind of cover them up as I go. You can do a lot of different ways. A lot of people that I've seen just kind of smooth out an area, sprinkle their seeds everywhere, and then cover that area up with some potting soil or another type of growing medium. And that's an easier way to do it. The only thing is, a lot of times you have to come back and thin out after you do it like that, and I really don't want to have to really do that. I'm trying to just do one hole at a time. Now I realize I'm not just putting one seed in each hole, so yes, there may be some thinning at some point, but I feel like they'll at least be a little spread out to where I can manage it easier than if I just had big clumps of carrots here, there, and yonder. So that's just the way I do it. I'm just hoping and praying I get carrots. I have tried to do carrots in ground before, and I don't. It's hard here in Louisiana for my soil. I don't speak for everybody in Louisiana, because I mean, if you have a lush soil at your house, if you have really good backyard soil that, you know, you may have earthworms in and things like that, I mean, it can be a whole different ball game. I'm dealing with clay soil, sand, a lot of sand in my soil, lots of rocks, and just really having to try each season as I grow to get as much organic matter as I can back into my soil. So that's what I'm dealing with my soil. Well, I got everything planted that I wanted to get planted. 10 feet of Kuroda carrots, 10 feet of Envy carrots. And I got my sprinkler going. It's sprinkling on all 3 rows right now, so it's hitting on this left side. It's hitting my turnips and turnip greens that I planted yesterday. In the middle, it's hitting the carrots. And then on this side, of course, it's hitting the little marvel peas that I planted yesterday. And then way down there at the end where the water is kind of pooling, I had it on that earlier because I planted the extra pea seeds down there yesterday. So got it going on. I'm just going to work this sprinkler back this way a little bit more to let the whole rows get watered in. And I feel pretty good about it. Boy, it has really evaporated a lot of the water. The soil was pretty moist Sunday, but it is not today. You know, you can tell it's drying out a lot. So I really needed to put this sprinkler on it so these seeds could have some good moist soil to germinate on. Well, it's the end of the day on Tuesday. It's a good thing that I only planned for one thing or set my goals for only one thing today, and that was to get the carrots done, because that's basically all I've got done. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let it go. We stopped a while ago to go to the post office. I had to pick up something at the dollar store. And then we came back home, and he wanted me to put gas in his four-wheeler because it only had 2 bars left, which on our little property, 2 bars of gas will go a long, long time. But it was driving him crazy, so I put the gas in the four-wheeler. So got all that done. Just walked back out here to check the water on my sprinkler so I could just move it every few minutes and stuff. But if I can get these 300-foot rows watered in and ready to go, I'll feel good. I'll probably come out here tomorrow because I think it's supposed to be sunny tomorrow again. I don't think we have any rain coming for a few days anyway. So I'm going to keep the water coming on these carrots and on these peas so that they'll come up pretty good. The carrots I'm more worried about than the peas. Carrots just kind of have to stay moist, and it's a job. I mean, when you plant those, it's a job to stay on it and keep them moist, but I've just got to do it. I might take the wand hose and put on the water hose tomorrow and just kind of do that row. I don't want to get the other rows so wet that, you know, they don't do good. I want to just make sure the carrots, though, get a lot of water. So anyway, it's the end of a beautiful day. It's just been a gorgeous, gorgeous week here in South Louisiana. I feel like it's on like Donkey Kong. You know, we're getting ready for spring. I'm sure we'll have some cold snaps. I'm sure there might even be some weird weather come, because we've had in the last few years some things pop up in late February, and even in March sometimes we end up with snow, which is not usual for us to get snow, but it seems to be starting to happen more and more. So I'm not really worried about the weather, just trying to get as much as I can done, because I know that, you know, it'll break at some point and it'll be spring and it'll be upon us. And the more that you can have done ahead of time, the better. That's been my whole theme this gardening season, is just to try to get as much done as I can, energy-wise and, you know, just time-wise, and try not to waste too much time. So I feel like I've done a lot today, so it's been a good day. I hope everybody has a good evening. Enjoy it. Thank you. This is Lainey from Camp Joy Farms. I appreciate it. Please subscribe and follow me on into the spring. We're going to be growing something. Thank you. Bye-bye. This is my life.